89.1 The Bash, WVJC Mount Carmel, Illinois, a Wabash Valley College broadcasting station.
Support local music.
They do a lot with local music.
Support local music.
Very diverse as far as the music they play a lot of local stuff.
This is Megaphone Local.
There's a lot of good music out there that doesn't get any attention.
You can hear anything on here, and I love that, you know.
Support local music.
This is Megaphone Local, an 89.1 The Bash local music radio production.
Welcome into this week of Megaphone Local. Eli Grimes here with you as I am every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. to host this show. Lots of great music to get to from across all genres such as shoegaze, pop punk, punk rock, alternative rock, and everything in between, as well as some straight edge music this week. So we're going to kick things off with Hyper Radio, an up-and-coming pop punk band based right in the 812 in Evansville, Indiana. This is a more recent release. This is Stupidity by Hyper Radio, and then two more releases from that band, in 2025 upcoming. But first, this is Stupidity by Hyper Radio to kick things off this week on Megaphone Local.
Something's going on. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Maybe our love is wrong, but baby you have write this song. Don't throw our life away, no matter what I say. I made you laugh today. No one's gonna make you feel this way. I can be stupid sometimes. That's just how I get through life.
He loves my voice sharp.
You don't have to throw my stuff out the front door. Maybe you and I know I'll be back tomorrow. By the way, I found your car keys at the neighbors down the street. We'll talk about it later. Hey, is that your mom on TV? Will you be that ugly when you turn 50? It was good seeing you today. I hate you had to pay for our dinner. I feel that something's going on. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Maybe our love is wrong, but baby you have write this song. Don't throw our life away, no matter what I say. I made you laugh today. No one's gonna make you feel this way. I can be stupid sometimes. That's just how I get through life. Maybe our love is wrong, but baby you have write this song. Don't throw our life away, no matter what I say. I made you laugh today. No one's gonna make you feel this way. I can be stupid sometimes, but that's just how I get by in life. Maybe our love is wrong, but baby you have write this song. Don't throw our life away, no matter what I say. I made you laugh today. No one's gonna make you feel this way. I can be stupid sometimes, but that's just how I get through life.
We're on TikTok at Bash Radio 89.
Painted that you are, you're never around to love me like you used to. Creeper, always
Finally, right? Okay.
It's the 1975 on today's hit alternative.
Met her on a Friday, messed around a little and I thought we got it right. Singing together with the radio as we drive with the top down on Saturday night. I don't believe that she's innocent and I'm not sure she's all there. But I've been caught in her trap now. She's become a crossing bear, and this cross of mine happens all the time. The right side of the innocent. She says she's in love. I think she's a killer. The right side of the innocent. She talks so sweet. She's a pretty deceiver. The right side of the innocent. She says she's in love. I think she's a liar. The right side of the innocent. She's my little vampire. We're at our wedding, dancing to Bon Jovi. I'm living on a prayer now, hoping that she won't kill me. Right on, killer. Right on, killer. The right side of the innocent. She says she's in love. I think she's a killer. The right side of the innocent. She talks so sweet. She's a pretty deceiver. The right side of the innocent. She says she's in love. I think she's a liar. The right side of the innocent. She's my little vampire. She's got her grip on me. She drained the life from me. She's rotten to the core. This isn't fun anymore. The right side of the innocent. She says she's in love. I think she's a killer. The right side of the innocent. She talks so sweet. She's a pretty deceiver. The right side of the innocent. She says she's in love. I think she's a liar. The right side of the innocent. She's my little vampire. She drains the life from me. She drains the life from me. She drains the life from me.
That was Vampire by Hyper Radio, once again a pop punk band based out of Evansville, Indiana. And right before that was Brain Dead. This was a 2-single release back in March of this year, late March 28th to be exact, of this year. Thanks again so much to Hyper Radio for being on the program. We're going to kick things to our next band, Weak Knees, with Half Empty. Don't go anywhere. This is Megaphone Local.
We're getting ready. I hope I don't run my mouth. No promises when I'm out. I don't know better. Some days better than the rest. Thought you were older the way you spoke
Alternative music.
Today's hit alternative.
Alternative music.
89.1 The Bash.
I dream big, but I hit the snooze. Still thinking about kissing you, but you know me. The tug gets tight at the best of times. Shit across my heart again. What else is new? What else is new? Who knows? I could be good at what I do. Too late, I'll never follow through. But you know me. It's not my fault that I've been through. What else is new? What else is new? Not so fast. We didn't miss a second chance. Looks like I need another exit strategy. Giving up for giving up on me. A dog can't bite without its teeth. I've lost track of the hand that feeds. Your nose and name. I'm not a yes, but I'm not the truth. What else is new? What else is new? Not so fast. We didn't miss a second chance. Looks like I need another exit strategy. Giving up for giving up
From the band out of Vancouver, British Columbia, that is Weak Knees, Giving Up on Me, released back in January, I believe, of this year. Don't go anywhere, a short break, and then we are back to music from Weak Knees, their most recent released, IOU. But once again, a short break, and we'll kick it right back to the music here on Megaphone Local.
Always wanted to work with little kids? Then you might be interested in Wabash Valley College's Early Childhood Education Program. Our program teaches you current laws and regulations, assessment tools, and curriculum types, as well as techniques and skills you would need. We also have one of the very few on-campus labs, so you can learn by doing. Come and join us at Wabash Valley College.
Support provided by Wabash General Hospital. Do you know the signs of sleep apnea? Symptoms include daytime fatigue, poor judgment, memory loss, morning headaches, feeling irritable or anxious, and having an increased appetite or high blood sugar. The sleep specialists at Wabash General can diagnose and treat these issues to help you get the rest you need. The WGH Sleep Clinic can be reached at 618-240-2740. More information is available at wabashgeneral.com. New alternative and indie right here on 89.1 The Bash.
On my back, this one's on you.
Weak Knees with IOU right after the break here on Megaphone Local. That is their most recent release, released back on May 1st of this year. And they've got an upcoming single coming out this Friday, I believe the 25th. So be tuned for everything Weak Knees related, and as well as to hear their most recent released upcoming this Friday on the 25th of July. Up next, it's Stella with Hope and Fear. Once again, this is Megaphone Local. Keep that dial tuned. Hope and Fear by Stella, a band out of Evansville, Indiana that features a shoegaze psychedelic pop punk sound, and they will be playing at Fuchsia Fest 25, as will several bands on this lineup this week. That, once again, was Hope and Fear. Up next, we're celebrating Eternal Brewtopia with the Chugs, and this is a single off of that album, I Think We're Gonna Steal a Jet Ski. Keep it tuned, this is the Chugs right here on Megaphone Local.
I am Sloan Struble, aka Dayglow.
Today's hit alternative.
Time to be somebody. Time to break some rules and feel the thrill. Right now we're close almighty. Got hands in hand and big shoes to fill. Whoa! Hey, come here! Check it! Hey! Look at me! Look at this! Oh, fuck! God, oh, damn it! Did you see that? Hey! Did you see that?
89.1 The Bash. WVJC, Mount Carmel, Illinois. A Wabash Valley College broadcasting station.
Smell of burning rubber and familiar cedar. Unpack
This is Maggie Rogers.
I'm Gigi Perez.
I'm Josiah from The Head and the Heart.
You're listening to 89.1 The Bash. Today's hit alternative.
Floating down the creek, so cool, so blue, so you, so sleek, filled with the 10,000 egg mistake. So I will follow as you glide into the mouth of freedom, into a true utopia. I will let myself down in the water, ride the sky blue blaze eternally. Just me and you in hands in ecstasy. Let the foam grab hold and float me out. It's what this good life's all about. We're drunk and free, and look, there's still a smiling from the clouds. We've been baptized by the purest Minnesota water, cleansing souls since 1865. I will let myself down in the water, ride the sky blue bliss eternally. Just me and you in hands in ecstasy.
Right before that track you just heard was Minnesota Sober by the Chugs, and you just heard Mouth of Freedom by the Chugs, all from Eternal Brewtopia. A short break and back to the music right here on Megaphone Local. Keep it tuned.
Looking to make a change or start a new career? Wabash Valley College is here to help you take the next step. Whether you're returning to school or starting your journey later in life, with low tuition fees, flexible class schedules, and supportive staff, WVC makes it easy to balance education with work and family life. Our instructors are here to guide you every step of the way, and we offer hands-on programs that prepare you for real-world success. Start your future at Wabash Valley College today. For more information, visit iecc.edu/WVC or call 618-262-8641.
Support provided by attorney Ivan Arnez. You don't have to go to court alone anymore. Ivan Arnez practices criminal defense and family law. Arnez Law Offices can be reached at 812-424-6671 or online at ivanarnez.com. Blunt, honest, legal advice. Ivan Arnez, attorney at law. 812-424-6671.
Ladies and gentlemen,
More alternative.
We're back to music.
feeling bad, right down all the way.
Back to the music here on Megaphone Local. That was Memory Motel with Alabama Song. Memory Motel is based out of Vincennes, Indiana, and we are so happy to have them on the program. Keeping it with Memory Motel, up next is Guiding Light. Don't go anywhere. This is Megaphone Local. the Triple X hardcore band from Springfield, Illinois. That is Prevention with their track Don't You Want to Be Free. Up next, it's Erase My Mind by Prevention. Keep it tuned.
This is Roy English from Jaguar Twin.
Hey, what up, guys? We're almost Monday.
Hey, I'm Nick.
What's going on? I'm Austin.
We play in a band called Beach Weather.
89.1 The Bash.
Wrapping things up here in hour number 1 of Megaphone Local is Prevention with The Search from their 2022 EP, The Search. Don't go anywhere, hour number 2 coming up of Megaphone Local. Let's give a quick shout out to all of the bands from hour number 1 here on the show this week. Hyper Radio, Weak Knees, Stella, The Chugs, and Prevention, as well as Memory Motel. Hour number 2 on its way of Megaphone Local. Don't go anywhere.
And here it is.
The alternative.
89.1 The Bash, WVJC, Mount Carmel, Illinois, a Wabash Valley College broadcasting station.
Support local music.
They do a lot with local music.
Support local music.
Very diverse as far as the music they play a lot of local stuff.
This is Megaphone Local.
There's a lot of good music out there that doesn't get any attention.
You can hear anything on here, and I love that, you know.
Support local music.
This is Megaphone Local, an 89.1 The Bash local music radio production.
Hour number 2 of Megaphone Local has arrived, and and we're going to kick things off with another band out of the tri-state area. This is Early Mourning with Mischief. Don't go anywhere. Hour number 2 of Megaphone Local has just begun. That was Early Mourning, an 812 post-hardcore band with Mischief to kick things off in the second hour of the show this week. Up next, it is Pisces Dream, but Early Mourning is an 812 post-hardcore band, and we are so happy to have them on the show this week. Up next, Pisces Dream, and then a short break before we get back to the music. Keep it tuned.
Before I want your face. So pull me under, if that's what it takes. Had to know if I could go away, only the right fall. Some things I feel in time will change. Can't dream away the fall. Some things I feel in time will
What's going on? Today's hit alternative. Let's get back to
The alternative.
here. 89.1 The Bash.
Swing and Miss by Early Mourning to wrap things up for the 812 post-hardcore band on the show this week. We thank those guys so much, again, for having their music on the program. We're going to kick it to our next band, 97 Flood, with Shade Man. We'll tell you a little bit more after this track.
It's all that I can see.
Shade Man by 97 Flood. 97 Flood was formed in 2022 in Louisville, Kentucky. They are a 4-piece emo alternative band blending raw emotion with powerful instrumentation. They draw early 2000s emo and modern alt rock in their music, being defined by heartfelt lyrics. You can definitely hear that throughout their music as well. Known for their energetic live shows and personal lyrics, the band connects deeply with fans, exploring themes of heartbreak, self-discovery, and of course, all of life's struggles. Up next, it's Sawing, Still by 97 Flood.
This is Connor Michael, and you're listening to Megaphone Local.
93% of students at Wabash Valley College receive financial aid.
That's money, baby!
Wabash Valley College also has a 72% first to second year retention rate of first-time degree-seeking students.
Wow, the future is here!
90% of students said WVC prepared them for a career.
Wow, that's a lot, huh?
Wabash Valley College is also an Aspen Institute Top 150 U.S. Community College. Sign up for classes today.
Come on, hurry it up.
Are you a smaller artist looking to get your music out there to the tri-state? Maybe you just want to expand your audience? Whatever it may be, 89.1 The Bash wants to help. Megaphone Local wants your music on the air. Our local music radio show is geared toward helping expose local bands and artists. Contact 89.1 via TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, or email the show directly at megaphonlocal@gmail.com. Megaphone Local, a radio show explicitly meant to get the word out.
Prepare yourself for increased alternatives, and you will become part of a new group of friends.
The alternative.
89.1 The Bash.
Let me be just a little bit spiteful. Let me grit my teeth for a while. I'm in the drink. I'm in the drink. I'm in the drink. Why should I force a smile? My mouth full of gin and bile. I'm in the drink. I'm in the drink. I'm in the drink. Let your light shine in sacrifice your money for the sake of fun. Sacrifice your livelihood when the job is done. Under, over, between. Under, over, between. I know you can't fool me. I know you can't. How many times is it gonna take? Can't go back on this mistake. So let me be just a little bit spiteful. Let me drink my tea for a while. I'm in the drink. I'm in the drink. I'm in the drink. I'm in the drink. And why should I force a smile? With my mouth full of gin and bile. I'm in the drink. I'm in the drink. I'm in the drink. I'm in the sacrifice your money for the sake of fun. Sacrifice your livelihood when the job is done.
Right before the break, you just heard Sawing by 97 Flood, and what you just heard was Gin by 97 Flood, and all of the tracks you have heard, Gin, Shademan, and Sawing, are from the band's Places on a Side Road EP released back in February of this year. Up next, it's the outro of an album by What Counts, from the band What Counts, right here on Megaphone Local. Franz Ferdinand and all of your favorite artists right here on 89.1 The Bash, today's hit alternative radio station.
90.1 The Bash, WVJC, Mount Carmel, Illinois, a Wabash Valley College broadcasting station.
That was Inner Truths by Pucker Up, a band out of Springfield, Illinois. And they are going to be at a live show on August 10th alongside the band you just heard, What Counts, Smile, Slug, Sign Language, and COI. This will be at the Roses Midwest at 417 West 4th Street in Bloomington, Indiana. All ages are welcome. Doors open at 7. Music is at 7:30 and a $10 entry fee. This is for the Brigade 7 release show for the band What Counts. Once again, for Pucker Up, they will be playing there on August 10th. Up next, it's Holding Out by Pucker Up, a short break, and then back to the music to keep things rolling here in hour number 2 of Megaphone Local. Don't go anywhere. This is Holding Out by Pucker Up.
Sunshine! With the liquid fight! All I get! Until your grip lifted! I hold on tight! No matter what you do, this fight you fight! I've got a hold on you! Why don't you just let loose? Let it loose!
The Bash, today's hit alternative.
Many don't know there's been a shortage of nurses in the healthcare industry for years. With a labor shortage, the nursing field is a great choice for anyone thinking of pursuing a college education. Check out Wabash Valley College's 2-year nursing program that will have you working in the healthcare field before you know it. There's no better time to earn an education towards your future than today. For more information on how you can earn your nursing degree, visit iecc.edu/WVC today. Be a leader, be a warrior.
Support provided by Steve Faulkner Automotive, this area's Ford, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram dealer. All this month featuring the 2025 Jeep Wrangler, 2025 Jeep Compass, the Dodge Ram 1500, and 2024 Dodge Hornets. All inventory available in person and online at SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com. Steve Faulkner Automotive in Mount Carmel, Illinois.
I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on.
On Cracker Island it was born.
It's Gorillaz on today's hit alternative.
Big thanks to Woboy for being on the show this week. That was their single, Rambling. Up next, it is Sinful Land by Together in Dust, which will be our final artist of the day. So enjoy it while you can. This is Sinful Land by Together in Dust.
Whatever it is that I wanna do.
Together in Dust, our final artist today with Sinful Land, and their next track, which I will leave you with, is Sunny Mourning. So once again, thanks for joining us this week on Megaphone Local. It is always appreciated. And let's appreciate all of the artists we've had on the show today, including Hyper Radio, Memory Motel, Weak Knees, Stella, The Chugs, Prevention, Early Morning, 97 Flood, What Counts, Together in Dust, Pucker Up, and Whoa Boy. All of those wonderful artists. A big thank you to all of you for being on the show this week. If you would like your music on the air in the future, be sure to get into contact with us via Instagram or TikTok, as well as Facebook, and you can email the show directly at megaphonlocal@gmail.com. Once again, I'm going to leave you with Sunny Mourning by Together in Dust. Thanks for listening. This is 89.1 The Bash with Megaphone Local.